Hey guys, welcome back to Bait and Tackle, and today we are going to make some swim baits. That's right, we're back on the swim bait train. So I actually have an order to fill for a customer, and he wants some 6-inch swim baits. So behind me I have a whole bunch of swim bait molds ready to go on the hot plate, the griddle. And we are going to do all of these. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Epic bait mold stud. It's about a 6-inch bait, a little over 6-inch. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 AI 6-inch swim bait molds. So we're gonna go ahead and make him a 2-color pour. It's gonna be pretty simple. It's not gonna be anything crazy, but we're gonna get back into the swim baits thing. It's starting to get cooler outside. I really do enjoy doing the swim bait thing during the winter. It's kind of my thing. So we will start doing these, and then once we get done, I'll show you the finished product and show you how many we made. I think he wants like 20 or so of each, or maybe it's 10 of each, 10 Epic ones and then 10 AI ones. So we'll do 10 of each for him, and then we may do some extra ones as well. So stay tuned. All right, so I got you a new view. I have this arm that comes out from the wall now, and it gives me an overview of where everything is on my table. So no more of this thing trying to fight with different tripods and whatnot. I have a nice little thing that I can view from the top down. So what we're going to do is we are going to do these molds, but first I got to heat up some plastic, and this is some Bait Plastics 262, I believe, yes, which is a medium to hard plastic, really good for swim baits. I may add some hardener into it, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to see how it comes out, but a little bit out of my realm. I used to use that on plastic a lot, so I'm trying to use some different plastics just to see how they work, and I've used some bait plastics in the past and they work great. So I'm going to go ahead and start heating up the first cup. And what we're going to do is we are going to make a smoke black, almost translucent color on the bottom of the swim baits with some silver flake. And I know I've got some good sized silver flake here. Probably go with the 0.35 because it is a fairly big swim bait that we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and use this. This is a Lurecraft. It is a 0.035, and we'll use that for the flake. And for the smoke part, I'm gonna just use some black, some non-bleed black, and I still have quite a bit of the MF plastic colorant left, so we're gonna go ahead and use that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the first layer as a smoke black, so light on the black with the flake, and then the other color on top is just going to be a jet black. So we're going to make it real dark, real dense, so you can't see through it. So that's the plan. We're not doing any other colors. It's going to be very basic. We'll throw some eyeballs on these things when we're done. So let me get some plastic heated up. We will, and then I'll come back and we'll start throwing the colors together, and I'll show you those. All right, guys. So we're back. Got this heated up to about 350, which is very good. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and shake this black up just a little bit. And again, this is just for a smoke black, so we just want a couple drops. Let's just start with 3 and see where that goes. We just want it smoky. We don't want it bad. It's not bad at all. I'm going to drop 1 more, maybe 2. I'm going to do 2 drops. Set that off to the side. Just to darken it up just a little bit more. Yeah, that's what we want. Again, not going for complete black, but I want a good amount of black. So now we're going to do the silver flake. We're going to go ahead and put a lot in there. So I'm going to use the Tad spoon, and I'm going to do a heaping pile of it. Let's see what this one gets. Let's see where this gets us. And this is actually silver hollow, not, that looks pretty good. So I don't want it too crazy, and then the top's going to be black too. So that's just enough little bit of flash in the bottom that'll make it really pretty. So we're going to go ahead and run with that color for the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and stick this into the gas chamber, the degassing chamber, so that we can get all the air bubbles out of it. And I'm just trying to get all the little pieces of plastic that were hanging out over here outside back in the cup. So I think we're good there. Let me go ahead and get this into the degassing chamber. I've got the second color heating up, and again, it's just going to be a simple jet black color. And I'm just going to check this for temperature. It's probably coming down. It's about 320, but let's go ahead and get some of the air out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the degassing chamber. And we'll let that roll. Alright, so this is the second color, and again, all we're going to do in this one is solid jet black. So let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're just going to put some squirts in there, because again, I need this to be solid, completely solid. Mind me, will I get black colorant all over everything? Trying to clean up the bottle, the cap came off. Always happens, never fear. Playing with colors. Anyway, so I put a pretty good amount of squirt in there. That looks pretty good to me from up here, and it will be solid like that because of how thick the bait's going to be. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So again, just jet black. I'm not going to do anything fancy to it. I thought about putting some color shift in it and whatnot, but I think the hollow in the bottom layer with the smoke black will be plenty to do with what we need to do. So let's get this guy over into the degassing chamber so that we can get this color nice and degassed for pouring. And I'm just going to go ahead and knock down some air bubbles with the blowtorch like I normally do, because that'll save it from boiling over, hopefully. Now, I have had some issues with boiling over lately. Every time I put a dang cup of hot plastic in the degassing chamber, it seems to want to gas over on me. So let me get all this stuff settled. We'll get back, get our two colors heated up, and we will start the pouring process. I also need to start heating up the griddle, and I'm going to get it set to probably about 250 to 300. Okay guys, we are at 350, and we're at 250 right now. I just got it warming up. I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and start laying out the first color, the smoke black with the hollow silver flake in it. And I'm going to do each one of these up to the top of the hook slot plate. Since this is two color, I'm just going to go right up to that spot, right up to the hook slot plate. That's what I'm going to do for each bait. Now these epic studs They drink a little bit more plastic than the AIs do. I probably should have started at the other end, but it's okay nonetheless. Worst case scenario is I'm going to have to make some more. So just a nice steady hand pour. I just messed that up because I just poured down the side of it, but we can fix that before we pour the next color. You can just go ahead and kind of peel that one out of there when it's all said and done. So again, a steady hand really helps. Practice. It has been a hot minute since I have made any big swim baits like this, so I'm trying to be very careful. Again, this is for an order, so I also want it to be good for him as well. And again, this is Bait Plastics 262, which is a little bit firmer than 42. Typically medium to a hard for swim baits in particular. I'm still kind of sorting that out with myself, whether I want to continue using Bait Plastics or if I want to go back to using Dead On. I do like Dead On. It is one of my favorites. But I don't have an allegiance to anybody. Here we go. We're into the AI molds now. And again, this is just going to be a simple 2-cavity pour, or a 2-color pour, not cavity, rather. So again, I'm just getting it up to top of the hook slot. That's the goal here. And I'm still going to have to, and I just messed that up too. I wasn't steady, wasn't paying attention. I'm still going to have to fix this one, and I'll have to fix one of the epics. Still going to have to possibly make up some more of this plastic, because he wants 10 of each. And I'm going to have to go ahead and do the only part that's kind of critical here, is trying to get plastic poured in there correctly. Just trying to just keep consistency going here. My hand's getting a little tired. I'm just taking a break and readjusting here for a second. Hopefully you guys can see everything okay. Hopefully this camera angle is a little bit better too with this new system I have. Try to make my videos the best I can, and I try to add some things to make them a little bit better. I have another microphone coming real soon, so I'm kind of excited about that. So a little bit of progress in the shop from time to time. These ones, but I think we're going to have to make more plastic for the next set. And my plan is to just do these for the video, and I'll probably do the other ones off camera. And here's the last one. When we do the top layer, it's not really going to matter making a mess, because you can kind of trim off the outside edges of the bait on the edge of the mold, which is one of my favorite things to do. So there were a couple that we did that we kind of messed up on. This one in particular back here, I'm going to go ahead and try to cut him out of there. There's a piece kind of got dangled, and then any little dots that I see, just go through and clean them up, put them back in the cup, little dots, any little strings you got hanging over the rest of the molds, go ahead. But I'm going to check the insides on both sides of the molds to make sure that there's no little spots left, anything like that. Now this one is the one that I messed up. I'm going to go ahead and pull him up and cut him out. Hopefully that didn't mess that up. Kind of pulled that plastic up. So we'll see. If it messes it up, I'm just going to set that one off to the side. I'll use it myself. So again, we have one more down here. Yep, pulled that one right out of there. It's good. I don't see any more screw-ups. I see some little light pieces here and there. Cleaned all those up. Okay, so now that we got this there, I made a mess with the black plastic. And I need to pick it up out of the degassing chamber. It made a complete mess, and that's all I have left is a little bit of black. So I've got to get all that cleaned up, get it in the cup. I'm going to go ahead and heat these up a little bit more to 300. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it at 250 for now. And then after I get the black poured, then I'll crank up the heat. So let me get my black plastic situated, get it heated up, and then we'll come back and pour round 2. Okay guys, I think we're ready for the next step here. I got the black all set up, ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and start down here. We're just going to go ahead and fill up these cavities. Again, we're just filling them up all the way. This part's not too bad. Now any air bubbles that I get to the top, now these ones are a little tricky on the tails. I'm just going to very slowly pour them in with a very small stream of plastic because these have a very unique tail. And again, if it is over poured by any means, I can go ahead and trim off the edges once it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up the best I can. I'll probably make a little bit of overspill on some of these epic ones because they're a little bit more difficult. Just make sure you slowly fill up that tail. It's a little bit more unique, like I said, than the AI ones. So not too worried about going over too much. A little under would be my concern because they will pull in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, get these epics done first. I poured that a little bit faster than I wanted to. I think we're good. These drink a lot of plastic. I probably should have started with the other end again, especially on these, but that's okay. It's going to be what it's going to be at this point. If I need to stop and heat the plastic back up again a little bit, I can. That one's good. Needs a little bit extra. I can tell the body is not quite full. Nope, I made a little bit of a mistake there, but that's okay. Like I said, it's the top layer. It doesn't really matter. And this is, like I said, this is drinking this plastic like nothing. So slow in the tails. That's the important part. These have a very unique tail with a very unique fin on the back. This is the last one of the epics. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm getting a little bit of buildup on the end of my cup. So I may stop for a second, clean that up. It's one thing I've learned with doing these swim baits, it's patience. So again, I'm just taking a little bit of the plastic off the tip of that cup. And we're gonna start on the AIs. Once I get these filled, we will crank up the heat some people say to do the spit test, and I heard from somebody recently, I thought was very interesting, was that saliva boils faster, 3 times faster than normal water. So I'm not sure if the spit test is really the right way to go. The funny part is when you do this, you do it enough, and it's been a while since I've done this, my arm is starting to cramp up a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get through this the quickest I can, but I also don't want to not pour these correctly, so I'm just trying to make sure the cavities are filled with enough plastic. I'm also trying to rest the cup on the molds, and that way I don't have to do as much work, you know. So some of the epics, I got a little bit of plastic over them. Did good on the first couple. So I'm going to have to trim those up after they come off the plates and they're cooled down. So this is going to be a little bit of a process in this video. Obviously you guys won't see the change, but it's going to take me a little bit because I'm going to have to crank up the heat, and I'll probably show a little bit of that. Get it up to a good temperature. I usually do the spit test, but I'm going to go a little bit hotter now than what I've been doing. These are pretty big swim baits. A lot of plastic. But I also I do not want the flake to settle in that bottom layer. That's the important part. A lot of people have their own method on doing this. I don't really have a specified method. Now when I do skin pours, I can do it a little bit easier just because you're in capsule, you're making that capsule. I think my plastic's starting to get a little bit too thick here. I may have to take a break. Yeah, I'm almost down to the bottom of the cup. I may have to make more. We're going to go ahead and fill this one in the best I can. Maybe the next one. I don't want to get into a position where I'm filling one part way and not all the way like we need to. And that might happen to this one right here. My hand. I just ran out of black plastic. So we are going to have to take a moment to, I don't think I have enough here on the sides of these cups to do that. Just thinking if I had enough on the side of the cups to get down in the bottom to remelt what's here, but I don't think there's enough. No, there's no way there's enough. Which means I'm going to have to get another cup and make some more black plastic. So, right now, it is spit test hot. I'm going to go ahead and crank it up to 300. Let them mellow out. I usually do that for about 10 minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and let it do it for probably a good 10 minutes. Again, I do not want the flake to settle at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and heat all these up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 would have been perfect for 2 cups of 1.5 cups of plastic. So I think I'm going to omit these 2 for now, and then I'm going to come back and do 12 total. So 12 is kind of the limit on a 1.5 cups of plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and make off camera some more plastic, possibly pour these other ones real quick, and then we'll try to get these cooled down. It's going to take a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll demold them and we'll see how they come out. Okay, guys, so I have taken apart 2 of them just to make sure that we didn't have too much settling on the glitter. I wanted to make sure that we were going to be okay with that. And it looks like we successfully were able to get them to bond very strong. And I'm going to show you one right now that I took out of the package. It came out fantastic. The bonding is perfect. It's all smooth in between the 2 layers. You can see through the bottom part, which is what I intended to do. Some of the black drifted down in a little bit, but man, those look so good. So that's what I was intending on doing, having that smoky look to it with the glitter, and then having the dark black on the tops. So some of these I may do some touch up to. I know some of these I need to peel off the outside edges. But I'm going to go ahead and open up one of these just so you guys can see one of these AIs. Because these came out fantastic. Look at that. Oh, it came out so good. So again, clear bottoms. That smokiness came out perfectly. The color went through like I wanted it to with that glitter. Trying to get it to focus here. My battery's kind of dying a little bit here. So got that clear see-through like I intended it to. I don't know why my camera's having such a hard time focusing on that. There we go. So again, exactly what I wanted it to do. I was having a tough time with that see-through. Anyway, so we did a great job. Let me zoom in a little bit, maybe that'll help. Did a great job. I'm also going to try to plug in this light. We're trying to experiment with a couple of different things here. Yeah, that might help a little bit. But it came out great. The color's what I wanted it to be. Here, let me see if I can tilt you one way. Maybe that'll help with it out of the way there. There we go. Okay. So, again, see-through with the flake came out great. The black came out perfect. These ones came out just amazing. So we're all set with those. I'm going to go ahead, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch more of these. And I'm probably going to go ahead and demold the rest of these ones, but I've got to do some trimming and whatnot. So let me get the baits all done, and then we'll come back and do the portion where we put on the eyes. Okay guys, let me turn the vent off. We're all set. I did one more round. I did 4 more of the Epic 6.1s, and then I did 4 more of the AI 6-inch, but I had 3 other ones that I had from last night that I wanted to see if I could get rid of the cold cracking on. But I repoured them, changed my heat setting, and I'm going to include all this in the video, the bad ones we did and the good ones. So this came out extraordinary. They came out perfect the way we wanted it to. See the see-through line's perfect. It's not dipping down or nothing, so it didn't get too hot, and the flake stayed where I wanted it to stay. So we did the right thing this time. So I'm going to go ahead and on camera, I'm going to adjust this camera here, and we're just going to go ahead and open up the rest of them and probably do a speed. We'll do a speed up video just so then that way we're not spending too much time on this. Now, the one thing that I'm a little bit upset about is these do have some cold cracks in them, especially these other older swim bait, or these other swim baits I had sitting there. So I'm not sure if I can put these back on maybe and heat those up, but all the AIs, they need a little bit more heat. The epics seem to bond really well. I can see a tiny bit, and maybe they just need to bake a little bit longer than what I initially had them on there for. So I may put all these back in the molds and heat them back up for a little bit just to see what that does, and hoping that the glitter doesn't settle down to the bottom of the mold. So we had a lot of trials and tribulations. I had some issues with heating up some of this plastic, and I finally got it to go the way I wanted to. I had a lot of cold cracks on a bunch of these, and actually now I'm starting to see there's a few of them in here that are still have cold cracks. So the plan is, any of them that do have cold cracks, which a majority of them I got to cook out, because what I did was I put them back in their molds very carefully, and I heated them up to about 250, but I did it for like 25-30 minutes, so they would sit there and actually bake in a little bit. So most of it has been cured. Most of the cold cracks have gone away, especially in the fronts of the baits. So I think I'm okay. Again, I think some of these are going to be for personal use. Some of these are for a gentleman that is placing an order with me, but I'm giving him the first batch that I made that came out really well, so he will get the good ones. The epic bait molds, the studs, those came out fine. Even the second batch that I did, I got the cold cracks to go away on those as well, so I'm a lot happier with how it turned out, because the second batch that I did definitely had some cold cracks around the edges, but now it doesn't. There's still some little marks from me putting them back in the molds and redoing them, like some marked over and stuff like that. I don't think anybody's gonna kick up a fuss about that. They're still a pretty good looking swim bait. So same colors, everything's good. Now what I am going to do is go through, and I did one before, and the eye is called Glacier Color by Lady Fly Tire, and this is what it looks like on the Epic, and this is what it looks like on the, if I can find the one I did, there it is. This is what it looks like on the AI. So pretty slick looking bait. Like I said, it's got the sparkle, the silver holographic 0.035 flake in the belly, and the top is solid black. So these came out really nice. All 6-inch baits, which is what the guy wanted for an order. And then I'm going to have some leftovers to use for myself, or for anybody else that I decide to give them to or whatever. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up. I'm going to go ahead and put eyeballs on all these, and then I'll come back and show you guys a pile of all these, and maybe what I'm going to take as a picture for the thumbnail, and you guys get to see what we made. Alright guys, there you go. This is the completed project here. I'm just going to take one of these and show you guys. But there it is, the 6-inch AI swim bait. And again, it's transparent. You can see through the bottom, see that? But beautiful color, just a smoke black smoke color down at the bottom with some 0.035 hex glitter, I believe. It's that holographic silver. So it's got a little bit of color to it. And then we use some Glacier eyes, 10mm on these. And it's 10mm for both baits. And then just jet black on the top, just solid black. So came out great. I made a whole bunch. And then the Epic bait mold, the Epic stud, that came out great as well. Same thing. It has the translucent belly with the holographic glitter. See that? Oh man, it looks so good. I love it. Same eyes, same size eyes as well. These also take a 10 millimeter. So what a beautiful bait. I love the square tail on these. A little bit more unique, a little different. So there you have it. And again, this is kind of an order for a customer of mine. And I love these molds. The problem with pouring these, and it's been a long time since I've done any of these, is the amount of time it takes just to relearn using the griddle again, which my griddle is not a traditional griddle, it is a ceramic griddle. So it cooks a little bit hotter than the traditional non-stick griddles. So learning the temperatures again has been a little bit of a challenge. The first time I poured the first batch of these, it came out fantastic. The second time I had some cold cracking, it was driving me nuts. I had to put them back in and recook them again on like 250 for like 30 minutes just to get rid of the cold cracking, and I probably should have left them on there a little bit longer, or maybe even raise the heat up to like 275, pushing it. But if I go to 275, 300, that's where I had that problem where I did a batch and the flake settled to the bottom. So you don't want to get in that situation either. But there's the completed swim baits. I'm really happy to be back doing these swim baits again. I'm probably going to be doing some more dusting coming up soon. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've done some dusting. Those are going to be a little bit better, a little bit easier, because I can dust the insides on those skin capsules, or they call it skin pouring in capsules. I'm not sure which one you prefer to call it, but basically pouring the skins, you know, painting the insides, and then filling them with the colors that I want. So for now, these are just some basic swim baits to get me going again on swim baits. It's been a while. We're going to get really back into, we're going to get back in heavy doing swim baits here in the winter time. But for right now, we're going to ease our way back into it. I'm got to get used to the griddle again. It's been a while, like I said. So we will continue going down that road. And we'll probably do some other stuff too. I still am going down the road of, you know, making a lot of underspins. So that'll be pretty cool. Some different colors. I've done some really unique colors recently. And I may actually feature them in a video at some point. I did some really cool colors for a giveaway for one of my buddies. His name is Baits, and he has a YouTube video or YouTube channel as well. So I'll post his YouTube channel and his Instagram below in the comments, or in the description of the video. So check him out. I also want to say thank you to my man Adam over at SDG. He has hooked me up with 2 of these. And of course, I paid for them, no problem. I know he shouted me out on his video with the aluminum blocks, but he supplied me with 2 more of these, which I had 4, and I really wanted 6. So that made my day. So I got 6 swim baits, and he got those 2 big chunks of aluminum I found at a job site. So pretty cool how that worked out. But I'll link his channel down below as well. You guys need to go hit him up, subscribe, blow up his channel. I mean, I'm not sure who follows mine and his. Probably a lot of the same people will follow both of us, but go check them out. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Just making some basic swim baits, just trying to get back in the groove of swim baits again. But we're getting pretty close to 1,000 subscribers. I got a giveaway to do. We're going to do a giveaway of a box of these little mini 1/8 ounce underspins with a whole bunch of different 1.7 inch prey baits. So stay tuned. That's going to be coming up at some point. We're getting pretty close. So thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, keep on baiting.